All right, here we are. We're going to talk about some things that you might have heard resonated your ear with along your journey. But we're going to look at some material. I don't know which direction this will go, but I do know this. This is going to be about, black magic. The average individual will tell you that you don't need to watch that video, and if you're around anybody like that, then that's dampening your journey to coming out of what we're going to talk about. First, we've got to figure out, are we in a trance? Are we hypnotized? Are the goy are what the humans are? That means they're ignorant. So what we have to do is this. Okay, real quick. The CDC is CDC. Third letter, fourth letter, third letter. 7 times 7 is 49 times 7 is 343. So, with that being said, remember this world is the world of Maya. It's a world of illusion, but we're in a materialistic age right now. And there's demons, very evil demons that have to do with impulses and currents, keep you up on current events. But they have found refuge within our brain, within our thinking. The cleverness is these fucking Ahrimanic demons. It's realer than what you can possibly ever fathom. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at something called gematria. We have to do that. If you dismiss this, then you're going to miss the boat on the other side. Trust me. You have to listen. See, what's inside of you won't allow you outside of what you've only ever known. Okay? This right here, we've talked about it. Your skull is a mummified intellect, which means by the time you're 20, all this shit here, which is garbage materialism, black magic, is within the cerebrum, the occipital lobe, the optic nerve, the sensorium organ. The whole brain is designed with materialism, and then it's mummified. That means there's no other impressions that can get in there. You know the phrase, they made a really good impression on me. Well, that's the thing is you've been driven in a certain path by design. So if something like this ever popped up, that you would quick to dismiss it because of the impulses. It's because of the black magic cell of a family unit that you come from. It doesn't matter if it's a family, an orphanage. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Every person, I'll talk about this in just a second. Hang on. Every person, this is Israel Regardie, the Tree of Life. This is Aleister Crowley shit. We're going to go over here to definitions. Okay? Now, do you see that right there? It says a sigil. Sigil. S-I-G-I-L. You see that? And it says a seal. A seal. That's a seal. A sign or signature. A symbol used to represent a spiritual force, such as an angel, archangel, or a divine name of God. Any name or word can be made into a sigil. Now go get your birth certificate, and it's going to have a seal on it, a stamped, certified seal. And the force behind that, we'll talk about in a minute, emanation. Start with the N and go both ways. Name, nation, N has to do with Jesus, new. America's founded on God, Jesus, supposedly, but it's black magic. The whole English spirit is fucking black magic. Now what we have is a definition of a seal. And then we also, too, so that stamp, that seal is a mark. Okay? Mark synonyms.
Here are some synonyms for mark: blemish, streak, spot, fleck, dot.
A symbol, a sign. A sign, though. The G is silent. It's a sin. It's a seal. A mark is also a brand. It is a brand. And just to make sure, we're in Black's Law Dictionary, which is, this is Saturn's law, which is, it's ours. All this shit in here is their made up fucking black magic garbage. Everything that they're using comes from us. They ain't made nothing. These motherfuckers have stole it. I can get deep and piss these fuckers off in physical form because I'm surpassing them. Now we're going to go over here and look at the definition of mark. All right. All right. Marytime's on there too. It's on that page. So if you want to freeze it and go back. So the definition of mark, okay? A mark is a seal, all right? And in Alistair's shit, it's a force. It's a spiritual force, so it's Satanism. It's fucking Luciferian and Ahrimanic. Black magic. So the definition in Saturn's Law, fake dictionary, it says a character, usually in the form of a cross, made as a substitute for his signature by a person who cannot write in executing a conveyance or other legal document. It is commonly made as follows. A third person writes the name of the marksman, leaving a blank space between the Christian name and the surname. In this space, the latter traces the mark or crossed lines, and above the mark is written his or her, and below it mark. So a mark back then was defined as, you're a Christian, you can't read and write. You're a dummy. By definition, that's what this fucking garbage says. This piece of shit, garbage, weak black magic that I cannot fucking believe that worked on us. But it did. It did. So now what we have is a mark. It's a character form of a cross, too. And then since they couldn't read or write, okay, so what kind of a fucking land do you live in that's not going to make sure that everybody knows how to read and write? Because we know what it is. See, that's how much common sense that they don't have. So let's pick up right here. It says, leaving a blank space between the Christian name and surname. In this space, the latter traces the mark or crossed lines, and above the mark is written his or her. So let's go to surname. You have a surcharge for credit. Okay. SUR. So this is probably going to be a long video because we're going to do some talking. I'll keep you on your seat. Come on. I used to have them on. Whatever you call it. Sir. Surname. 1143 is the first one down. All right, let's read it. It says the family name. The name over and above the Christian name. The part of a name which is not given in baptism. The last name. The name common to all members of a family. But that's not the Christian name. That's not the Christian name. That's not a name. That's a documented name. The surname, and it says above and beyond the Christian name. So that means that Christian names here, the surname is above it because that's the documentation of this goy, of this demon of black magic controlled through impulses of materialism, thrown into this world, and that's all their blood and their whole anatomy knows. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then they go to these false prophet structures. Look, so anything outside of God is an idol verse. Exodus 23 commands, "You shall have no other gods before me." It says, "My dear children, keep yourselves from idols." From idols. And then you got American Idol and all that shit. But see, the thing is we can't serve. You can't serve two masters verse. The verse "no one can serve two masters" is found in Matthew 6:24. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, King James Version. No man can serve two masters. Even though I grew up watching Masters of the Universe, Masters golf tournament. You don't understand? So if we're going to look at Scripture, no man can serve two masters. Yet, the surname, which is the last name, okay, it's above and beyond the Christian name. So the Christian name means nothing. So we serve that last name. That's what we have to do. Okay? So with all that being said, let's see. Let me talk about gematria for a minute. All right, this is Aleister Crowley 777. What we're going to do is we're just going to read the first part right here, gematria. And this is something you can't learn this in the physical form. It says it must first here be spoken of the esoteric Kabbalah to be found in books, a shell of that perfect fruit of the tree of life. Next we will deal with the esoteric teachings of it, as Frater P. was able to understand them, and these we shall give examples, showing the falsity and absurdity of the uninitiated path, the pure truth and reasonableness of the hidden way. For the student unacquainted with the rudiments of the Kabbalah, we recommend to study the S.L. Mathers Introduction, which is a fucking garbage book. There's nothing in it. I got it. It's not fucking real. Listen, I can go back. What's in me can go back, and it's just so funny. Because what started all this was I went to a bunch of non-denominational Christian programs, and I still had all the books and shit, and they're huge, long, lengthy programs. And I sat down and come to find out it's all one. The whole fucking thing, it's just written different. It's just a Ponzi scheme. It's all it is, and it's black fucking magic against not just our minds, but our anatomy, nature, everything. They're interfering with the true evolution of how things are supposed to be going. And they are fucking throwing souls in another sphere that's not supposed to be there. And that's a long way down the road in this video if we get to it. And it says, I love their little words though. We venture to append a few quotations from the former document, which will show the elementary principles of calculation. And I'm going to show you this first page, and then you can go back and look at it. And it says the literal Kabbalah is divided into three parts: Gematria, Notarikon, and Tamora. Gematria is a metathesis of the Greek word. It is based on the relative numerical values of words. Words of similar numerical values are considered to be explanatory of each other, and this theory is extended to phrases. So, anytime you see a headline in these fucking black magic headline newspapers and they're in parentheses, that's a phrase. If you'll go to a calculator and see, you're not going to figure nothing out, but you've got to start resonating. You've got to know this. Listen, there's no out of this, who we are. We're fucking in the middle of black magic. And to get out of this fucking black goo, you got to go back through it. I'm not playing either. And there's not hardly anybody on earth like dissecting this shit to where we're literally saying this is Saturnian energy coming through this vessel. That's all I am. The world that's in your fucking head is not real. And you will not let it go. Because you have been hexed and cast. Just like a fucking cast of members in a movie. Or a cast on your arm. It's the same way. This is not going to show you how gematria works. You probably never even heard of it. Okay, but it has to do with fucking crazy shit that's still. That's what I'm saying. I need to keep reading. And truthfully, you'll have to go back and try to read some of this because each letter is broken down into numbers and so on. Because it talks about Ra'ok Elohim, the spirit of Elohim, blah, blah, blah. And it says the angel Metatron is said to have been the conductor of the children of Israel through the wilderness, of whom God says, my name is in him. With regard to gematria of phrases, Genesis, whatever, there's and that, you'll have to go back and read it. It's hard to read this, and it goes into Notarikon, but we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about let's see, what is it? Yeah, he talks about the words. This book will blow your head off. It will. All right, there it is. So, now I wanted to show you this. It says, of the results of the method, we possess one flawless gem already printed in the Equinox, which is Crawley's. From this pleasant, orthodox, and so they all lived happy ever after view, let us turn for a moment to the critical aspect. Let us demolish in turn the Kabbalistic methods of exegesis, whatever. And then if we can, discover the true basis upon which to erect the abiding temple of truth. One, gematria. The number 777 affords a good example of legitimate and illegitimate deductions to be drawn. It represents the sentence, this. You've got to see this. That down there, right there. On the bottom, very bottom, that phrase right there. And I'm going to turn the page. One is the spirit of the living God. And also this phrase, the world of the shells, excrements, the demon world. So, at the top right there, it says, of the living God. That phrase is the one, world of the shells, excrements. And what that means is so 777. This is where it gets fucking tough. is it's going to be good and bad. Like now. So let me go over here. All right. You need to learn how to use this website right here. This is all we got. We got to use the Blackmagic. You see that one? All right. And what I'm going to do is go over here and clear them and put the number 1, which is satanic. Now, we've talked about, damn it. There it is. Phrases and things. Okay. In satanic gematria, certificate bondage is 777. Okay? This is very, very serious. Because these terms, real quick, we'll just look at the... Okay, do you see there's count, list, sum, and then divisors. Blacklisted, that has to do with numbers. Count Dracula. Put a Y on count, county in your states. And then sum, the sum of the divisors. So the sum of the demons, which is the numbers, N-U-M-B, the first 4, num, because you don't know what they mean. So in certain sequences, I'm going to show you sequence in Satan too, because it's all about 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so a sum would have to do with summoning. You know, I've told you when I feed these birds out there that I'm summoning that group conscience of a being. You understand what I'm saying? Same way you set a circle up with their numerical blah, 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 and you summon demons. All right, so the word sequence, okay? Sequence, even in satanic gematria, is 3, 6, 9. It's because this cipher in Lose Yourself, Eminem, he says, step into the next cipher, something. I can't remember, but you'll say, well, that's just the lyrics, and it's like, no, it's not. But just to prove, I'm gonna give you another phrase, because the whole thing is it has to do with it. We've done videos about this. Okay, so what we have is satanic gematria 666. Okay, we've already broken down why 9/11 is used. It's because 11 represents evil and 9 does too, but it's just what it is. It's just what it is. So what I'm gonna do is there's that. Let me give you one more. Blackmagic words. And then I should be able to go to something else. All right. So Blackmagic words 666. Okay, we talked about the names and stuff, right? Look. I'm going to put in first and last names 666. It's because you're in a huge glitch, like when you are within your subconscious. But see, I'm going to show you this. Just a couple more. All right. What we're going to do, we're looking at United Nations ritual. Right there. United Nations ritual is 9/11. We're considered Goy. We are Goy. Okay? We're Goy. So they're always talking about stuff being viral. Well, this is a phrase. These are phrases that have been cast spells on. There you go. Viral Goy mind control. Okay? So, and we're considered animals. That's what we're considered. They consider us animals. What was it? Hang on. I got your attention. What is it? I'm going to show you a couple more. Oh, yeah. Because increments. What is it? Hang on. I can't see my glasses. They're somewhere. But the whole thing is this. It has to do with the cube of 8. And I'll show you, like Wheeler boundary. If you'll Google link, there it is. Look, Wheeler boundary has to do with quantum physics and shit and time machines and all this fucking garbage. It has to do with black magic. Wheeler boundary has to do with just Google that phrase without time, because time represents Saturn. Okay, and real quick, this is who you're dealing with. Satanic blood worships is 888. Okay. And see, Crowley and them created that Vril Society. That they'll say some other swinging dicks did, but it's all fucking garbage. It's all within the letters. Because it would be Vril, Crowley, and Satan. Because they like doing this. These phrases together. Because see, even that's his book right here. There's that, and then this. Do you see what I mean? And that's why they're doing their best to try to destroy like there's no such thing as good and evil. Yeah, well, but you're a being, right? So one more. And see, marinated, like when you marinate a steak, but Mary, M-A-R-I, has to do with water. And you're a being, you're a water being. Okay, so marinated beings, 666. And that's who we are. And this is just satanic gematria. This ain't the big boy shit like Latin. You know. And the whole thing is what is it? I guess I left some of the good ones in there, but no, it doesn't matter. I should have your attention by now. Because see, the whole thing is this has to do with Jesuits and it has to do with Saturn. You've got Metallica. You've got, these songs. And you've got these phrases like blackened Jesuit 666. I mean, look, they even put it in there. This is the whole thing. I'm going to spell out fake moon landing. Look. See, I mean, I've been on this shit forever. But this has to do with the other side. All this has to do with the other side. And then you have this shit right here, CNN. Jesuit owned. Look. So, what I said a long time ago, they built those Colosseums to eventually sacrifice people in. And people don't believe me, and it's like, okay, there you go, Colosseum murder. And that's just one phrase. We can go in all kinds of directions with every one of them. But see, look, it has to do with this. AI prism. A real prison is a prism. All right, look. AI is prism. AI prism is 330. So let's key in 330. I wonder what 330 is. God, I'm so slow on these. Wonder what that is. So 330 is 666. Even if you put 303, it's going to be 666. You just change the word around, it's the same numerical value because, see, look. They always say science did that. Science did that. So every time they get you to say science did that, they're saying 666 in your impulse, in your soul, in your spirit. Science did that. Science did that. Science did that. And that's who you become, is fucking demons. And see, science, and guess who's 303 too? God, I hate this. This tablet hates me. Yeah, so science is Saturn. Right there, 303. So is science. And when you write out 303 in numerical value, it is fucking 666. So, with that being said, now let's go right here. This is Elvis Levi. This is page 135 on chapter on black magic. It says, we approach the mystery of black magic we're about to confront even in his own sanctuary, the black god of the Sabbath, the formidable goat of Mendez. At this point, those who are liable to fear should close the book. Even persons who are prey, nervous, impressionists do divert the attention or to abstain. We have undertaken a task and we must complete it. Let us first all address ourselves frankly and boldly to the questions. Is there a devil? What is the devil? As to the first point, science is silent, because they are the devil. Philosophy denies it at hazard. Religion only answers in the affirmative. As to the second point, religion states that the devil is the fallen angel. Occult philosophy accepts and explains this definition. It will be unnecessary to repeat what we have said previously on the subject, but we may add a further revelation. In black magic, the devil is the great magical agent employed for the evil purposes by a perverse will. And it says in the footnotes, 115 is the number of antagonism and whatever that word is. Okay, the number 15 is the word of evil. So if we go over here to the tarot cards, what is the 15th card? It's the devil. Right there. So, all right, let's continue. And it says, We have said the devil exists and is 1,000 times more horrible and pitiless than the blackest legends represent. His essentially hybrid form is the synthesis of all nightmares. In our brain, he destroys reason. In our heart, he poisons liberty, and so does always. For he is not a person, but a blind force. He is accursed, but it is with ourselves he sins, but it is us in us. We alone are responsible for the evil which he causes us to do, for in him there is neither freedom nor reason. The devil is the beast. An evocation is therefore an appeal to the beast, and the beast alone can answer. To manifest the beast, it must first be formed within us, then projected without. To create the beast within us, we must destroy the man. Now, we've gotten to this point. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think you can meditate enough to where you could see what the fuck wants to destroy you on the inside? Do you have that in you? Huh? Because I'm an alcoholic. I'm a real alcoholic. One sip, I'm off to the races because that's a fucking demon. Those are not relapses. If they addressed those as you are keeping a big demon imprisoned within your own anatomy. Now, these are beasts. Okay? So now we've got to turn it around. And we have to control these motherfucking impulses and everything else, because that is everything that he's saying. That's why they say, don't read this shit, because there is power in here. And whatever he did, he did. He supposedly did a ritual, and I mean, it's fucking real. You watch a commercial, it tells you to go buy a certain food. So you do a certain ritual, you invoke spirit. Spirit's involved in both. Okay, so I could go to the next page, but it's too much. Okay, so now we're starting to get to, can we meditate? That word I hate, but can we envision the beast within us, or more than one beast? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can we do that? All right, now what we'll do is come over here to this book, because take a screenshot and read that. So now, when we're doing black magic, I know we've been all over the place and I've missed probably a ton, but that's okay. But when you're doing black magic, you got to have a seal which represents forces of demonic demons. They're already fucking demons. They don't know it. Each family unit represents a black magic, unseen, Ahrimanic cell of destruction and fucking chaos. Each generation is getting dumber and more fucking destructive, and more, the idiocy is beyond on another level. In that song it says, the bigger the river, the bigger the drought. That means that they're fattening the world up, like we said. So when you get done doing your fucking Solomon, demonism, black magic shit, it's real. And I can make fun of it because I know it. I can go deeper, but you don't have it, and I don't fucking have it to say it. It's in there. I can see it, but what we've been given as language is not real. None of it is. It's the lowest form of Satanism, that, like, of speaking, but we've been forced into this black magic idiocy. So what they've done is they've created the society, literally black magic. To me and you, a license department, you go get your fucking license and you have a privilege and you go and you have to be good. Okay, in black magic, when you get done dealing with a demon spirit, you have to do a license to depart ritual, which means O thou spirit north, because thou hast diligently answered unto my demands, and hast been very ready and willing to come at my call, I do here license thee to depart unto thy proper place, without causing harm or danger unto man or beast. Depart, then I say, and be thou very ready to come at my call, being duly exercised and conjured by the sacred rites of magic. I charge thee to withdraw peaceably and quietly, and the peace of God be ever continued between thee and me. Amen. After thou hast given the Spirit license to depart, thou art not to go out of the circle until he or they be gone, and until thou shalt have made prayers and rendered thanks to God for the great blessings, blah, blah, blah. You can go back and read it. So they give these spirit demons, whatever you want to call them with this language, they grant them privilege to depart and to go back and to be obedient. Well, if you're not obedient, then you have your license taken away. Do you understand? So anything that we do now requires a what? Are they licensed? It's not real. That's the whole thing. It's demons walking around going, are you licensed? Are you licensed? That's all they fucking heard. Listen, we're going to have to get into the anatomy on how certain body parts are programmed at a young age, like a machine. Solar plexus and ganglia and all that, and how if certain things are not developed, then it's not a human. It's like we've said. The pineal gland has literally been flushed out. That's why these humans, they're not human. They're just robots. That's it. But they do have emotions and are sick, black magic, fake fear. Everything that they upload through this AI, black magic, comes out of them. They're just a host. Put a G, ghost. That's all they are. That's it. And the G for masonry is put it in front of a host that's ghost. And the whole thing, the symbolism has to do with Saturn. But I'm just saying that's fucking disgusting, because everything you say, they're licensed by this, licensed. And when you get out of it, you do find out that you're not just lucky. You won every lottery that there is on earth at the same time. Times a million, which would be impossible. So I hope this journey of coming out of what you've always thought you've been in is solidified now. Symbols mean everything. Letters mean everything. Phrases, everything. It's all black magic. The whole thing from top to bottom. They're harvesting souls. End of story. Created a sphere to where these souls are going to miss the whole fucking shebang when it comes to us in this true evolution. The Christ impulse, the true Jesus Christ impulse that entered Jesus Christ. They don't even believe in it. They don't have it. They can't. And see, that impulse is what AI and all this other fucking garbage has been created to destroy. Those impulses are the opposite of what I'm talking about, if you're confused. So one designs the blood to be evil as fucking mean, as demon as shit. And the other we don't have. That has to do with piercing the veil of nature to where you can see the beings. Same way if you look at the sun enough and the moon, you'll see an aura around it. You'll start seeing that around humans, but not physically. You'll see it in a clairvoyant way. You'll see the energy. Then you'll know. And then everybody will really look at you and go, they're fucking crazy. And it's like, no, you're an idiot. But we still love you. All right. I got to get something to eat. I love you.